The viola da gamba is actually a pretty interesting instrument. It's developed from a medieval Spanish guitar, and they raised the bridge up a little bit and curved it so that you could play it with a bow. And then it evolved over time into the Baroque and classical instruments into a pretty remarkable device, which basically was the dominant bowed instrument for about 300 years. An entry-level instrument, say a guitar or a mandolin, will set you about $200 for a nice one that you're going to keep playing for several years. A banjo is going to cost about $400. A gamba is going to cost about $2,000 for a really cheap one. A nice one that you're going to play for a long time, $5,000. That's enough you could buy a good used car. For the fancy ones, you're going to spend about $10,000, which is enough to start buying a new car. Probably not going to be able to do that, but the dumpster was a good friend. There's a plywood guitar here. Somebody broke a hole in it. I've been stealing parts off of it before I learned about this new project. And just before I was about to get rid of the last of it, thought occurred to me, if I cut the neck off at an angle here, put some blocks in here to reinforce the end of the fingerboard, I could reinforce this, set it up at an angle, and be able to play a couple of cello tunes on it. If not, well, the donor was free. We'll see what we can do. Well, I did some sanding. I put some stain on the scars where I took off the bridge and the fingerboard. Finished shaping the fingerboard reinforcing. A little bit of stain there. Let it cure overnight, and then I'll put some varnish on it tomorrow. In the meantime, it being a cheap instrument, I can immediately set a little bit of glue here. Don't overdo it. Set a little bit of glue here, and bango, reinforcing peg. There was no reinforcing whatsoever on this. It was just solid wood, unsupported. Give it a good heavy dose of glue on this one. And then I'll let this cure overnight. And the main structure will be ready. This is just about an hour's work here. It's about all. Starting with the raw guitar. Maybe 2 hours. Beginnings of a cello. I have to find a way to clamp that and then let it dry overnight. That's what the reinforcing peg was for, is because I didn't really expect that to be a very good fit. So I figure the peg's going to actually handle most of the job here. But it'll work. Well, the end of another long, hard day. I'm going to take a few minutes before I go home. If I'm going to put strings on it, I should have a place to put the strings. So I'm going to need a tailpiece. Pretty high-tech stuff here. One tailpiece. Now this is just a cheap throwaway instrument. If I like it well enough, I might make a better one later, but at the same time, I can't resist putting a little masking on and decorating it some. And a dab of walnut stain for color. Use that to fill in the black and to paint the tailpiece here. Walnut makes a really good highlight color. A bit of a quick polish to even the stain out. And once I touch it up a little bit and varnish it, that'll look pretty good. Well, I've installed a 0 fret, cut the nut, and added new tuners since I already took the old tuners off before I decided to do this project. So once this is done, you take all this, put some strings on it, and I'll be ready to play the thing. Well, the last job is making the bow. This is a 1/2 inch hardwood dowel, a bit of an oak on the tip, and for the frog, some 4-pound fishing line, and then rosin it up forever until finally it starts to make a squeaking noise. And after a considerable length of time, I'm ready. Well, here we are. We finished the first phase anyway. The frets are made out of 60-pound fishing line. The bridge is a little too flat. It's kind of hard to play single notes. And when I get to the edge, I sort of cut into the side of the instrument. So I'm probably going to have to build a new body for the instrument. The neck, the tailpiece, and the bridge can mostly be saved. The bridge, I would give it a little more arch. And it's a good start. I can work from here.